announced that from April 1st, 2025, travelers from at least 31 nations, most of them in Europe, will be subjected to visa restrictions. Namibia's cabinet made the decision after the countries refused to lift visa requirements on Namibian citizens. Some of the foreign nations that will be subjected to visa regime are the United States, France, Germany, Britain, Canada, and Italy. The others are Belgium, Switzerland, the
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Team Tesi Reactions is my name. Kindly for watching me for the first time. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. So guys, in today's video is about Namibia and white people. We have certainly seen those West country deporting we as African and also Caribbean and Jamaican from their country. So kindly guys, in this time with having a reverse, I told you that we African, we must now study deporting the worst people from here, Africa, to their country. So kindly guys, let's watch this video until the end, and then I'll come back with more reaction.
Announced that from April 1st, 2025, travelers from at least 31 nations, most of them in Europe, will be subjected to visa restrictions. Namibia's cabinet made the decision after the countries refused to lift visa requirements on Namibian citizens. Some of the foreign nations that will be subjected to visa regime are the United States, France, Germany, Britain, Canada, and Italy. The others are Belgium, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Japan, Norway, Austria, and Portugal. The list also includes Sweden, Spain, Denmark, Ireland, Finland, Ukraine, and Armenia. Namibia says its relation with the mentioned countries was one-sided, given it had exempted their travelers from visa restrictions, but the foreign nations declined to reciprocate Namibia's gesture. Namibia adds that travelers from the 31 nations will be required to pay 1,600 Namibian dollars, which is nearly $90 for a visa on arrival. Namibia's Home Affairs and Immigration Deputy Minister Lucia Witbooi said on July 17th that the new visa regime will take effect on April 1st next year. The Federation of Namibian Tourism Association, FENATA, has opposed the government's move. FENATA expressed worries that the new visa regulations would discourage tourists from visiting Namibia due to the time-consuming application and payment process for visas. Tourism Minister Pohamba Shifeta, however, said the new visa regime will not have any significant negative impact on tourism. Travelers from African countries that do not have a visa exemption agreement with Namibia will continue paying the 1,200 Namibian dollars, an equivalent of $65 for a visa on arrival. People bound by visa restrictions will be required to apply for visas online before traveling. They may also make their visa applications upon arrival in Namibia. Namibia's Home Affairs and Immigration Ministry said in a statement, the implementation of the visa requirements highlights the government's determination to ensure that the interests and rights of Namibian citizens are respected and protected on the global stage. According to Tourism Ministry, Namibia had nearly 864,000 tourists in 2023, an 87% increase from 461,000 the previous year. South Africa accounted for nearly 350,000 of the tourists, followed by Angola at 112,000, Germany at 80,000, Zambia and Botswana with 56,000 each. The other leading markets were the US, the UK, France, and the Netherlands, with a combined tourist figure of 75,000. Namibia has a number of tourist attractions, including diverse wildlife, the Namib Desert, and the Skeleton Coast. Namibia's visa move comes on the back of revelations that the European Union recently rejected a third of Africans who applied for Schengen visas. In 2023, about 670,000 Africans out of 2.5 million had their Schengen visa applications denied. The rejected visa requests by Africans accounted for nearly 41% of the funds EU raised from visa fees globally in 2023.
For an African to visit a European nation, an ordinary African, to visit a European nation is like, let me give you an example my teacher used to use. It's like trying to milk an elephant because of the visa process. However, for a European to visit an African nation, most of our nations, it is like a walk on the beach. It's like going to have a cup of tea. But then that is not the problem. The tragedy is that now for an African to visit a fellow African within the African Union, the visa restrictions in many of our nations, among us, between our brothers and sisters, is like trying to brush the teeth of a crocodile. They came, divided us, and they have taught us to keep each other from each other. Them, they're mingling with each other and making money and growing, but they have taught us to hate each other.
Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah is sending shockwaves again, leaving the Western leaders shaking and panicking. Like a blazing comet, she has burst onto the global stage, joining the ranks of fearless Pan-Africanist leaders like Burkina Faso's Captain Ibrahim Traoré. With a steely resolve and a heart burning for justice, President Nandi-Ndaitwah has unleashed a series of audacious policies that have left the world stunned. From deporting over 500 American nationals without visas to championing visa-free travel for Africans, restructuring the oil and gas sector, and demanding an apology from Germany for the Namibian genocide, she's not just leading Namibia, she's rewriting the rules of African sovereignty. This is no ordinary presidency. This is a clarion call for dignity, unity and progress. President Nandi-Ndaitwah isn't smiling, and neither should those who underestimate her vision for a liberated Africa. Let's start with the bombshell that's got tongues wagging from Windhoek to Washington. Over 500 American nationals are facing deportation from Namibia for flouting immigration laws. You heard that right. Namibia is sending a clear message to the world. No visa, no stay. In a fiery declaration that reverberated across borders, President Nandi-Ndaitwah laid down the law. If Africans need visas to enter the US, then Americans must also need visas to enter Namibia. This isn't just a policy shift. It's a seismic stand for reciprocity and respect in international relations. For too long, African nations have been subjected to humiliating visa requirements by Western powers, while their citizens waltz into our lands with impunity. Not anymore. President Nandi-Ndaitwah has drawn a line in the sand, asserting Namibia's dignity and demanding fairness on the global stage. Government sources confirm that the deportation targets are clear. Americans who've overstayed their welcome or entered Namibia without proper documentation are in the crosshairs. Immigration officials have hit the ground running, serving deportation notices with precision and purpose. Law enforcement agencies are working hand in hand to ensure the process is lawful, orderly, and respectful of human rights, because Namibia isn't about chaos, it's about justice. This bold move isn't an act of aggression but a powerful statement of principle. President Nandi-Ndaitwah has made it crystal clear. Namibia will no longer be a playground for those who disregard its laws. And for Africans who've endured endless queues and rejections at foreign embassies, this is a moment to stand tall. Our continent is rising and Namibia is leading the charge. But President Nandi-Ndaitwah isn't stopping there. In a parallel announcement that set hearts ablaze with Pan-African pride, she's pushing for visa-free entry for citizens of all African nations. Yes, you read that correctly. Namibia is throwing open its doors to its African brothers and sisters, tearing down the colonial borders that have divided us for centuries. This isn't just about travel. It's about unity, trade, and collective progress. Imagine a continent where Africans move freely, share ideas, build businesses, and strengthen bonds without the shackles of visas. President Nandi-Ndaitwah envisions an Africa where no citizen is treated as a foreigner on their own soil, and she's turning that vision into reality. This policy is a love letter to the continent, a pledge to foster intra-African solidarity and smash the barriers that have kept us apart. From Lagos to Nairobi, Accra to Addis Ababa, the message is resounding. Africa is one, and Namibia is paving the way. Now, let's talk about the economic revolution brewing in Namibia's oil and gas sector. Just like Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who's shaking up Burkina Faso with fearless reforms, President Nandi-Ndaitwah is taking no prisoners when it comes to securing Namibia's wealth for its people. In a masterstroke of leadership, she's placed the country's burgeoning oil and gas industry under direct presidential oversight. Why? Because Namibia's resources belong to Namibians, not foreign corporations or corrupt elites. With international giants like Total Energies and Shell sniffing around since their initial finds in 2022, the stakes are sky high. While some discoveries have been deemed non-commercial, the potential for oil production is a game changer for this sparsely populated nation of 3 million. President Nandine Ndaitwah isn't naive. She knows the world is watching, and she's determined to ensure every drop of oil benefits her people. This restructuring isn't just about efficiency, it's about accountability. By bringing the sector under her direct control, President Nandine Ndaitwah is sending a loud message. There'll be no shady deals or backroom betrayals on her watch. She's promised transparency, adherence to Namibian laws, and responsible management of revenues. This is Pan-Africanism in action, taking ownership of our resources and using them to uplift our people. Just as Captain Traoré has rallied Burkinabés to reclaim their destiny, President Nandine Ndaitwah is mobilizing Namibians to harness their natural wealth for schools, hospitals and jobs. The oil and gas sector is no longer a free-for-all. It's a national treasure, and she's guarding it with the ferocity of a lioness. And then there's the matter of historical justice. President Nandine Ndaitwah has turned her gaze to the scars of the past, demanding that Germany face its atrocities head-on. The Namibian genocide of 1904 to 1908, where tens of thousands of Herero and Nama people were slaughtered by German colonial forces, remains a gaping wound. For years, Namibia has sought a sincere apology, just reparations, and atonement. President Nandine Ndaitwah isn't mincing words. She's called on Germany to apologise unequivocally and engage meaningfully on reparations. While talks have dragged since 2015, with a 2021 joint declaration rejected by many Namibians, she's breathing new life into the fight. Her resolve is unshakable. Justice for the descendants of the genocide's victims is non-negotiable. This isn't just about Namibia, it's about Africa's broader reckoning with colonial legacies. President Nandine Ndaitwah's stance mirrors Captain Traoré's defiance against neo-colonialism in Burkina Faso. Both leaders are saying enough is enough, no more half-hearted gestures or empty promises.
So guys, welcome back. Hope you have watched a very powerful message from Namibia president. He just set a new rule visa for white people when they come back to a country of Namibia. And now it's now the high time where we just emboss that decision, and must now African also learn from the Namibia, so that these people, they have been deported us from their countries, giving us a lot of restriction. When now you want to travel to United States, it require a lot of process. Process is so long, too long, and even given a visa to visit this country is so expensive. And apart from that, our people are really suffering outside there. Our people are being forced to leave Jamaica, to leave Canada, others to leave UK, others to leave United States, and a lot of crying are being happening outside there. And it's now high time that we Africans now we come together and also set a rule that can also deport these people going back to their countries, because now you cannot deport black people and expect those people to go to their countries. And this just has happened. Whites are really crying, also crying in Namibia and also Africa, and what we call Burkina Faso, because it's two-way traffic. If you hate somebody, don't expect that somebody to give you a cake. And you find that these people really came with what we call the Bible. And this Bible has really affected we as the Africans. Because we normally read this Bible that say that when somebody slap in this side, give him this side. That is a lie. So these people are just using those verses so that they can just climb to us and penetrate in Africa. Because in Africa, in every country, you will find a whites there. You cannot miss any whites in this country. They have come in our country doing their business. Some of them are coming for vacations, and some of them are coming to maybe, some of them are dominating this Africa. But our people outside there in their countries are really crying. There is no any peace. They are going through a lot of discrimination, a lot of suffering, a lot of deportation. Immigrants are being deported. In fact, they deport you without nothing. So this message, when they reached Africa, also we impose such regulations, because you cannot deport us and then you come to our country and we treat you with a good faith. No, it's two-way traffic. You deport us from your country, we deport you from our country, because the way traffic. So it just happened, and I pray for my brothers and sisters. Ibrahim Traore is the youngest. He has just come out. He has come out, and he has really shown us that unity is power, and it's now time we start uniting. Let's unite it. Let's have one currency, because this currency is really causing us this USDD. It's now high time we and Africa have our own currency, and that that West countries being using us as people, and really our leaders are quiet. They don't speak out. They just given us, they are a sellout we as the African people, because we are the leading manufacturer of natural resources, and yet we are the poorest continent across over the world. Why? Because of what? Because of our leaders being used as a puppet to them. They don't want to speak out. They don't want a fearless leader. And that's why now, when Ibrahim Traore came out and speak loudly and being the fearless leader, they now started coming out and fighting Ibrahim Traore. They wanted to kill him. They wanted to assassinate him. They wanted to be arrested. They harassed him so that he might keep quiet. But recently, African came out in large numbers and defend Ibrahim Traore. They came out, they united. Those unity made Ibrahim Traore to win that battle. Of course, and he has just shown us that we can do without United States, without those West countries, because they colonized us. They came in because Ibrahim Traore chased away the Western groups going back to them. So Namibia is also following the same, and we have seen Niger, also Mali follow the suit of Burkina Faso. So he has just deported all whites back to their country, and that is what it must now start it now, and it must now continue, and it must be supported by all means. We cannot allow to lose to being humiliated, to being maybe silenced by these West people. We are just the same. We are just the same color. We can have our own decision. We can make our own decision, and our leaders must stop being puppet to these people. They must come out and speak loudly. Must face them face to face, as the other president is just doing. So kindly guys, for watching me for the first time, don't skip. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like, share, and comment to your friends, to your family. And for returning viewers, thank you so much, and may God bless you. Bye for now.